College football insider Bruce Feldman on chances Arch Manning goes number one overall in 2026 NFL draft. Ladies and gentlemen, today we're going to be talking about the chances, or the likelihood, if you will, of Arch Manning actually being in the 2026 draft. This is a talking point that's been happening for a long time, so we're going to do our best to solve it with Bruce Feldman. Now, ladies and gentlemen, I'm filming this on Saturday morning, early, and I want to show you something, all right? In August, on my social media channels, Twitter and Instagram, I put up this parlay that I was betting on Caesar Sportsbook. It was a 4-team parlay. This is before the NFL season. This is in August, all right, 2024. The Philadelphia Eagles to win the NFC East, the Kansas City Chiefs to win the AFC West, the U.S. Women's National Team to win the gold, and Leeds United to win the EFL Championship, which is the second division, the second tier of English soccer, or English football as they call it over there. Today, the dream was realized. Leeds scored an extra time game winner to clinch the championship. 14-1 parlay. If you were listening to the Face of the Franchise back in August, $100 just won you $1,400. So congratulations to all who tailed. Remember, I mean, sometimes I surprise myself. Not only did I identify the two Super Bowl winners with the Eagles and the Chiefs, but I also said, no way they don't win their division. Oh, and also, here's a little lanyap. Here's a second division soccer championship winner. You got people in this space, ladies and gentlemen, who cover the NFL, who cover college football, who can't even name the coaches, can't even name the players, who get confused of who is on what team. And then there's me. Okay. Let's get to it. We're having some goose and some gaffes on a Saturday. The Kentucky Derby is only a couple hours away, so I'll be busy with the ponies. Go ahead and listen to Bruce.
Many people are saying the Browns getting a first-round pick for next year, the Rams getting a first-round pick for next year. Everybody who didn't take their quarterback in this year's draft is saving up their powder for Arch Manning next year, that they assume he will be in the draft. What do you think, sitting here right now?
Okay. We'll let Bruce go, and then I'll keep it going.
Would be a great thing for Texas because that means he probably won the national title, I think.
So Bruce is pseudo-correct. Arch, in today's day and age, let's put yourselves in Arch's shoes. In today's day and age, there really is no reason to leave early. The power is all in the player's hand. The player has all the power to where they're getting so much money. They can, if they don't like the coach, they can transfer. If they don't like the school, they can transfer. If they don't like the scheme, they can transfer. They can do whatever they want. They're making $4, $5, $6, $7, $8, $9, $10 million a year. I mean, college football is an incubator for these guys. So leaving early is, like Quinn Ewers just showed us, leaving early is kind of dumb. Like, if you can, I mean, even Shedeur Sanders. Like, if Shedeur could go back, he would stay another year at Colorado. Why wouldn't you? Stay another year, make millions of dollars, be really good, win games, have everything nice and easy, and then go to the NFL, right? So the only two reasons that I can think of for Arch or any player to leave for the NFL when you don't have to is if you are on the absolute highest of high, undefeated, Heisman, national championship, and you want that to be your legacy. The other one is, in Arch's situation, if the New Orleans Saints had the first overall pick. If he really wants to play for the Saints, and that's, or any team, doesn't have to be the Saints, but Arch is from New Orleans, so that's why I'm using the Saints. If that's his boyhood dream to be the number one overall pick, be the franchise quarterback of his hometown team, and he had that opportunity, then yeah, you probably do leave early, right? Now, if all things are equal, and Texas doesn't win the national championship, the Saints don't have the first overall pick, I think Arch is staying in college. But those are the two ways that I think that a player like Arch, it would behoove them to leave early.
And look, right now, if you ask me whatever date it is, April 30th or 28th or whatever.
29th. It's in the middle. Yeah.
Got it close. I got it surrounded.
Right.
They would be my preseason pick to win the national title. Right. They've done really well in the portal. Everything I've heard from the people I trust inside Texas has been glowing about Arch. It's been glowing really from the time he's gotten settled in there. Mm-hmm. So I thought he handled every situation A+ in there. Does he get 1 year as a starter and then he jumps to the NFL? I don't know. I don't think anybody there. Everybody's just guessing, right? But I could see it. I think this will be a better quarterback draft, this next one, than what we just had, just because
The upcoming quarterback class, it's hard to say what's better. Remember, last year, the top 2 quarterbacks were Carson Beck, who didn't even enter the draft, and Quinn Ewers, who was a 7th-round draft pick. That was, at this time last year, those were the 2 guys that everyone was like, man, can't miss on Beck, can't miss on Ewers. And then we saw what happened. Cam Ward wasn't even in the top 10. All right, so it's really difficult to look at this 2026 or look at this college football season and identify, like, okay, who is going to actually be there? As far as the names, as far as this like big chunk of players who you have to watch, and we did this video a couple of days ago, just to kind of keep you in that mindset of, okay, when college football comes rolling, and I'll tell you this, like, it's May 3rd. My guys from Circa, wearing the hat, just put out, I just gave myself chill goosebumps. My guys from Circa just put out their trailer video for the Circa Millions and the Circa NFL Survivor contests. And me and my gambling group were texting. We're like, enjoy your last couple of months. Enjoy summer. Enjoy your, vodka sweet teas, because in 60 days, when August comes rolling around and college football starts popping off and we start seeing win totals and we start seeing odds and we start seeing preseason games and all of that, buckle up, Buttercup. It's 5, 6, 7 hours of work every single day just to try and beat the lines and stay on top of everything and keep the analysis rolling. So same thing with college football. When it hits in August, you got to know the names to look out for. And right now there are a lot between Garrett Nussmeier, Drew Eiler, Lagway, Sellers, Manning. Like, there is a lot of names out there. Will any of them, even like Raiola in Nebraska or whoever, pick your poison. Like, and there will be surprises. There will be Cam Wards. There will be surprises every single year.
I felt like we had one real guy, and that real guy was like a guy people thought was a 5th rounder this time last year. So it's often there is a guy or two. Nobody thought Jaden Daniels was going to be that guy. Nobody thought Joe Burrow was going to be that guy a year out.
And you're referring to Cam Ward at this point last year, where people thought was a 5th round selection?
Yeah, but he goes to Miami, and he just tears it up there. And I think that people also saw some stuff in him that maybe they didn't see coming out of Washington State. Mm-hmm. But, this next group, look, Drew Aller has a lot of physical talent. When you talk to people inside Penn State, they think he can be really special.
I'll go ahead and tell you right now, Drew Aller is your traits guy. He is the quarterback traits fella. He's 6'5", big arm, Josh Allen build. Is he actually good at quarterback? Depends on who you ask. But he's definitely the guy who's like, man, he looks just like a quarterback.
We got to see it, right? He's done some nice things statistically, but we got to see it. Yeah. Garrett Nussmeier is really talented at LSU. They should be a playoff team. They should make a run. He has legit, I think, 1st-round talent. There are a handful of guys already that you're like, this one's going to be interesting to see. Carson Beck coming off the injury. A year ago, people thought he was a 1st-round talent.
1st overall pick.
And I could see him having a really good year, and what the past year has done for him. So I think this is a really good draft for quarterbacks, or will be, but you never know.
You never know. But your assessment is that for Arch Manning to be in the draft next year, Texas has to win it all?
Not they have to.
Okay.
But I just think they've come close the last years. I think
if he does, then obviously he's completed the mission.
Right. Yeah, that's the thing. Like, now college players have to be so smart with this, where before, the incentive to leave was so high. The incentive of getting paid, the incentive of starting your NFL journey, your incentive of all of that. But now depending on the situation, there really isn't an incentive. Unless it is a situation where your value is so high and you're the guaranteed number 1 overall pick, then it's like, well, is it worth it to play another year? Is it worth it to, Jevin Sneed, may God rest his soul, was a crazy case study where he was an Ole Miss quarterback. He was the 1st overall pick projected All right, then I think he slides a little bit. I think he's like a top 10 by the time the draft comes around or draft season. He decides to go back to Ole Miss. He goes back to Ole Miss. He has a horrible year and doesn't get drafted. And that's how it was back then. Like back then, that was the danger. Now it's not really like that, because now even like his NIL deal and his money and all that stuff, the year he decides to go back would have been through the roof. It would have been, a bit of a balancing act. But back then there was a real danger with not going. Now the real danger is going too soon. Now the real danger is what Quinn Ewers is going through, what Shedeur Sanders is going through. That's the real danger now. So it's flipped on top of itself.
That's my,
But I guess everyone is basically saying, of course you're going to get an extra first round draft pick next year. Everybody's thinking about Arch. Everybody's already looking up. And I don't know. Is it a given? The kid's
it's not a given.
No,
I mean,
hell no. Yeah.
In fairness to the other quarterbacks, and honestly, in fairness to Arch has started like 3 games.
That's it.
Or whatever. And
right, like it is unfair to Arch, and that's why we try and temper a lot of this stuff with, virtually everyone. Until it is realized, until your value has been realized, and this is in the NFL, this is in college, whatever. This is just a way to look at things. Until something is realized, it's all just like hypothetical. It's all just like, yeah, well, maybe. Like you look at rookie quarterbacks. Okay, Jaden Daniels had an incredible year last year, right? So the easy thing to do is say, well, he'll just always progress. He'll always keep progressing. He'll always keep getting better. He'll win an MVP. He'll win the Super Bowl. He'll do this. He'll do that. He'll do this. That could happen, but it also could not. He also could plateau. He also could step backwards. Like a lot of things could happen. CJ Stroud, after his first year, his second year, people were like, the Texans are going to win the AFC, Stroud for MVP. And we said, hold on a second. We said, well, let's wait and see. Let's wait and see until it's realized. And then Stroud and the Texans take a step backwards. Now you have people who are saying, well, maybe Bryce Young was the best quarterback in that draft. So be careful with counting your eggs before your chickens hatch, or whatever. It's early on a Saturday morning, ladies and gentlemen. I haven't even had my mimosas. So be careful when you are expecting things that have yet to be realized, like Arch. Could Arch be great? Absolutely. He's played 3 games. He started a couple games. One was against UL Monroe, where he didn't look that good. Okay, throw out the games where he's up 50-3 and he's just in there in the second half spinning the pill. So could he be good? No doubt about it. But to already say he's a no-doubter, no-brainer first overall pick, you got to be trading to get draft capital to draft this guy. We're not there yet, but it is worth putting the monocle on and watching him.
And I think this is going to be the offseason where he probably makes the most development, because he has some film.
Starter.
By the way, he's got 4 new offensive linemen that are around him. He's going to have good players.
More wide receivers.
That's a lot, right?
Right.
Yeah, 100%. He lost Matthew Golden and Isaiah Bond. He's losing Kelvin Banks. I know it's Texas. I know they're going to retool. Sark's going to do what he's going to do. But, that is something.
You had a top 10,
Gunnar Helms,
a top 10 offensive lineman who now is going to play for the Saints. And then you have a handful of other guys who have to get settled in. I think he's got a really good system with Sark.
Yeah, hell yeah.
He's going to have really good receivers again, different ones, but some different ones. But I think that it's really for him just to learn on the field. And for all those things, you're going to be in the SEC. The target is really going to be on your back now. Like, I think they're going to be the preseason number 1. Again, it doesn't mean if they don't win the national title that he's not coming out. And it doesn't mean if they win I don't know that. Nobody knows
right.
that. It's not like, I had a conversation, if I win the national title, I'm out of here. Like, no one's doing that now. But I would say that's what it would lead me to believe. Because he hasn't been in college. He hasn't played that many games. If you're the Mannings and you're kind of calculating all this, how much time on task and how critical it is to play in a lot of games in a quarterback's development. If he's had
Yeah, I mean, and make no mistake, like the Mannings have shown that they will be incredibly calculated with whatever they decide to do. This is not going to be a flippant decision. I mean, we saw what happened with Peyton and Eli. So even that is like, well, if Arch has 16 starts, I don't know if they're going to just say, yeah, okay, go ahead, get on out of here. You know, you probably do want 2 years of being a starter at Texas on top of building your bankroll, on top of building your collegiate legacy, and then go to the NFL. You know, like I said, the only couple of wrinkles would be if after this year he is that damn good, wins the Heisman, wins the Natty, Saints are the first overall pick, and they say this is too good of an opportunity to pass up.
If he's had, let's say it's 16 starts next year plus 2 or 3. Yeah. 18 starts is not a ton. You go back to those old Bill Parcells, comments about quarterbacks.
But if you're also part of the game, if you will, of gaming it out, would have to be who's got the first overall pick or the most
for sure.
likely person.
That's another thing too. Like, let's say I'm just going to throw a place out there, but let's say Arch. I don't know Arch. I've never met the guy, but he's from New Orleans. He plays at Texas. I would assume he's not a fan of cold, rainy weather, whatever. Let's say the Browns have the first overall pick next year. And let's say he's like, I don't want to go to Cleveland. No hate to Cleveland. Cleveland rocks. But that's a real thing in today's world. Now, 10 years ago, 15 years ago, you're just hoping to go to an NFL team. You don't care. But, if Arch is looking around, he's like, Browns are first overall pick. Second overall pick's another kind of whatever climate, place I don't want to live. Maybe I give it another year to see if I got better options. Who knows?
To have it,
you have some leverage.
You mentioned the Saints. You keep mentioning the Saints. Obviously,
if the Saints have the number 1 pick, he's obviously coming out.
Well,
I don't know. I don't know. There's a hometown
aspect
to it, but if they don't like the general manager or the coach or the ownership, he's not going there.
There's a hometown part of it, but if you don't like the situation, you don't go just because it's your hometown team.
Team going nowhere. They need some type of buzz.
I know what they
drafting
need.
The grandson of one of your.
We're not saying we're not saying what the Saints need. The Saints would have zero leverage in that situation. Arch would have all of the leverage in that situation.
Best all-time players.
I'm with you, Rich.
I know what they need. What the Mannings need is ownership, general manager, and coach to not have their heads collectively in a particular orifice, and they will make sure Arch goes to the spot where it's all in line. And it's.
Yeah.
I actually think Arch potentially could have more leverage than Eli did back, whatever it was, 20 years ago.
Hell yeah, completely different situation. Completely different.
Just because I don't think, again, we're putting so many carts before the horse right now. Yeah. But I think in terms of leverage, the fact that he, even if it goes great, he still only had started like 18 games. Now, the seasons are longer than in college than it used to be, but still.
Catch the Rich Eisen.
Yeah, I agree. So we'll see. I mean, it's going to be fun, man. I mean, we're close. We are close. The ball is pretty soon. The ball's gonna be rolling in college and the NFL, and I honestly cannot wait. So happy Saturday! Kentucky Derby's coming up. Right now, I'm looking at Tiztastic, Luxor Cafe, a couple of the horses I'm looking at. Still got to do some work, but if you're looking to bet the Kentucky Derby, take a look at those. All right, I'll see you in the next video, ladies and gentlemen.